Welcome to Thursday, lunchtime, off the lips. We're super happy to have Adrian here today, and we like Adrian because he's a return visitor. I would call him a citizen of the world, actually, because it's quite difficult to pin down where he comes from. So super happy to have you back, and super happy because who doesn't love a good map, right? Adrian's been here a few times. I've never quite managed to understand exactly what Adrian does, but I know it's about maps, and therefore I'm excited. Cool. Over to you. Adrian's going to talk, and then we'll do the Q&A at the end, like always.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Michael. Just love to be back in the J-Bay with all of you people. This is one of my favorite places in the world, especially because it's a cozy little place where you have everything. You have the surf, you have a good co-working, you have a gym, you have good restaurants, everything. So it's like everything you want in a very short distance. I'm Adrian, as Michael said. I'm a digital nomad. I travel the world at the same time and I work remotely. I'm originally coming from Iran. Right now, I'm based in Bali and I'm coming from Bali to here. And I'm going to be 1 week around J-Bay, and we'll be glad to be here and see all the faces that I've seen last year. A little bit about what I do. I'm a geospatial specialist. I make maps. That means geospecialist, it means making maps and location intelligence. I think you all know what are maps. I don't need to explain that, but I will explain a little bit about location intelligence and how does that work. And some little funny fact about why we need them even after the death. So why do we need maps? And again, I'm going to show you a little bit tour behind the scenes to show you how we actually make maps. I think many of us, almost all of us, works with several different type of maps or mapping applications every day. Either you are a surfer or you run your own business or you're just navigating from here to your home with Google Maps. How does that work? How do we create maps and everything? And I'm going to show you today. All right. So first, I'm going to talk about what is location intelligence. Location intelligence is basically maps. And what do we do with these maps? It's not only for visuals. It's not just for looking at it. But we get very useful information and insights from these maps and location. So all these insights that we get from a map, it will help us in decision making. It will make our decisions making better, and in many complex situations we need location intelligence to make better decisions. For example, you see here a map. This is, for example, United States, and you see some points. There is some area around it that you can see, and these points are connected to many other points around. This example might be location of the services of, for example, hospitals. So, for example, you see, if you are in a government or you are a health planner of this country, you would like to know where are the main health facilities, what area of services do they cover, and, for example, what areas they are not covered in your country by, for example, emergency services or by hospitals, or just if you are retail service and you just want to know which area your customers are not covered yet by your business or your industry. So this is an example of location intelligence. From the location, from the maps, from the data, we get some insights and information to help us make better decisions. Next, I'm going to talk about how do we actually use maps. So as I said again before, we all use several different kinds of maps in our daily life, in our routine. Some of the main industries I just briefly mentioned here about how do they use maps. For example, in the retail industry, we just talked about like if you are running a business, a store. I don't know if there is anybody in the audience who is running a store, a business here, online business, anything? What do you do?
I run the green room.
Yeah, you run green room. You might be interested in, for example, as a location analysis, where are your clients, where your customers coming from, all different parts of the world. For example, if you have these insights, you might see, hey, there is one certain area in the world, for example, Bali, that a lot of customers are coming here from there. So Bali might be a very Jeffreys Bay might be a very interesting destination for people of Bali. Then you will spend more time like on marketing or just doing the business, expanding your business there. For example, in retail industry, we do have one of the really main usage of maps and location intelligence is site selection. As I said, imagine you are opening a store, for example, a restaurant in this case. You want to know, you want to choose the optimum position of your restaurant on before you want to invest a lot of money and capital to see what is the best place and what will gives you the best result if you invest money in that. So there is a different things that you want to consider. For example, where are my customers and how I can be the closest distance to my customers? Where are my suppliers, the people who provide ingredients for my restaurant? And how I can be in the optimum route so that they all can service my restaurant and bring these ingredients as fast as possible and as fresh as possible to me without going through very weird routes or like being blocked by the traffic and stuff. Where are my competitions? For example, you see here these big circles. There might be competitions. If you are running a chicken restaurant and you don't want to be directly close to another very famous chicken restaurant, because then that's not the best market for you. You might want to see what's the area of the coverage of that business, and you want to put your business somewhere where that is not covering, ideally. So that is some example of the retail industry. We talked about the customer insights, where's your customer coming from, and and then about the marketing. The next example of industry where we use maps a lot is real estate. You might have seen an application like this before. This is like Airbnb or like any other application where you want to buy a house, for example, or rent a house, or put your house to sell or to get rented. There are some websites. In this example, this is United States, Miami, and you see all these points. There are all the houses that are available in the market with their location. And then they have this we call them attributes. There's extra data on each location on the map. You can click on it and then you will see more data about it. Data can be some pictures, information, the price, the number of bedrooms, how many bedrooms it is, how big is the house, the area, and etc. The address and all the other information. So how do we use location intelligence in the real estate in this case? Imagine you want to buy a house and you want to have a little bit of a knowledge and history of the prices in that neighborhood. So you want to buy a house and you want to see, hey, what is the trend of the house prices in this neighborhood that I'm interested since the last 5 years? Are the prices going up? Are the prices going down? Should I better wait maybe 1 or more 2 years if they're going down and buy it in the low market? Are they going up? So should I maybe hurry up with buying? So we get a lot of good data and information from the maps that helps us with decision making. Market analysis, another thing in there. You want to buy a house, for example, we can say, I want to buy a house and I'm interested in this neighborhood, but I want to know what is the demographic of this neighborhood. For example, is this young people and students living there? That means a lot of maybe noise and party houses and stuff. Am I like a middle-aged couple and I want something quiet? So that's maybe not the best neighborhood for me. Or if I'm a middle-aged couple and I'm interested in other middle-aged in other demographics same as me, like with little children and stuff, there's a lot of green areas that children can play and is safe, and what is the crime in my neighborhood analysis, all of these, they are the location analysis. So you do that analysis and then you decide the best location for your house. Risk management, not maybe necessarily directly relevant for some of us, but in some areas of the world that's a really big thing. Imagine you are building a house, you don't want to build on a place that has the risk of flooding, earthquake, or just get the ground movement. And some places in the world is really important. Also, that's really important for the farmlands. For example, if you are a farmer, if you are in agriculture, you don't want to build your farm and invest a lot of time and energy in your farm on the place where it gets flooded every year. then it means the flood is going to come and wash all of your products and all of your benefits every year. So that is another important thing, how we can use location intelligence in the real estate. Are we next? Oh, am I not going? Okay, next. Next important industry that use maps and location intelligence a lot is transportation. One of the first use cases of maps in transportation industry, you can use Google Maps. I think every one of us use Google Maps every day for navigation, going from A to B, and it gives us the best route. Now imagine this thing plays a really important role for major distributors, logistics, and retailers, such as imagine Amazon. I actually have a funny story. Imagine you have a little daughter and you're throwing a birthday party for your little daughter. You go on Alibaba and you buy a nice little pink fairy for her, right? So this nice little pink fairy, you buy it from China, and it has to travel all the way to South Africa. So how does it come? First it comes with big planes and containers on the ships, and then it gets here. Maybe the next level of transportation is trains and buses and trucks, and the next level is the small cars, and the next level is just a guy on a scooter that delivers it at your home. So imagine something like this, the route planning and optimization of the retailers for such a huge thing like Alibaba or Amazon. That is like they get millions of orders every day and from all different countries, so they need to create the optimal route and distribution of all of these orders, which are quite important, essential for the business, saves them a lot of money, and just the customer satisfaction comes from that. Another way how we use maps and location intelligence in traffic is traffic management. Normally governments does that. They control the traffic, the flow of the traffic in the city. They make sure there is not a big congestion on certain areas and certain hours, for example, the rush hours, the peak hours, how they can diverge the traffic from another route so that the roads doesn't get blocked. And infrastructure development, an example of that can be urban planning. Well, let's say we are planning to the whole map, the whole building infrastructure of this city. We want to have green areas and parks distributed as much as possible, located close to the citizens, so that everybody can have somehow access to the green space from their location, from their house. So that will be the transportation, and then obviously you know this map. Who here doesn't surf? You can't leave the room, Steph. You all know this map. This is a map of Swell. This is a map of Swell that you use every day. Even if you are a surfer, we use geographical applications. We use maps, and there is a lot of things in this we do. So we have different layers. We have the Swell map, and Swell has like characteristic, the speed, the power, and the direction that is coming. So is for the wind. We take the wind and we can analyze all of them so that we can know tomorrow morning there's going to be a big swell here, so let's go surfing. So we use maps in a lot of other things. So in the governments, they use a lot for planning, for traffic, for urban planning and stuff. Utilities, all the cables, gas line, water lines in the city, they're all planned. They all use location intelligence and mapping and planning on spatial attributes. Oil and gas, obviously, for maritime, for all the ships, vessels, for sailors, for all of them, or for army. Aviation, all the navigation of airplanes and everything is done with the mapping and GIS technology. Agriculture, as I told you about finding the best location for your farm. Also with the satellite images, we can analyze the growth and the health of your crops. So if you're in agriculture, like they use now, there's quite a lot of spatial technology in that. Construction, site planning, site finding the optimum place to build a building or build a business that you have. Military obviously is quite a lot with all the location analysis is all super important there. Surfers, as I told you, probably most of you are surfers. And tourist maps as well. When I was here last year, I had this crazy idea of building the tourist map of South Africa. which I don't think is still a very bad idea, but I still think it's legit. Like we can, maybe if I have more time, I will invest a little bit in it. Yeah, so after all of that, we talk about a lot about what are the examples of the maps, how we use them in our everyday life, how different industries use maps in everyday life. Now let's talk about how do we actually make maps. I can make it super simple in 4 steps, 4 general steps. First step is to get the data. I'm going to tell you in a moment how we get that. Second step is to process the data. Third step, make data available online. And fourth step, create maps and visualization. Now I'm going to go through each of them and tell you how we do that. Yes, first step is get the data. Does anyone knows what is this? There you go. This is a satellite image. It is showing an area of Durban. Yeah, sure. No, but that's true, right? This is Durban. And the satellite image showing the Durban. So where we get data as GIS specialists, we get data from many, many different sources. One of them is satellite images. Another one is aerial images, images that are taken by airplanes. Sensor data, all the different sensors of the devices that they send us data. For example, GPS that you all use on your phones and you can use, then you know them. User data. It can be crowdsourcing. For example, when you go on the Google Maps and you write a review or send a photo or someplace, these are all the crowdsourcing data and the organizational data. Yeah, so I'm going to make it quick because we don't have time. We just wanted to see. Yeah, that I will tell you in the next slide. So then after we got data from all the different sources, for example, satellite images, then we need to clean data. Then we need to do a lot of work on the data because that data is not necessarily usable. We need to clean data, we need to remove errors, we need to remove irrelevant data, we need to remove duplicates. There's so many errors because some of these data that needs to be extracted from the images, they're not always done very precise. They used to be more and more done by humans, and humans can make a lot of mistakes, especially it's like such a difficult job to get actually. Imagine you want to extract, for example, data from all the buildings in Durban. We used to have like a human hired with a pen on the screen, literally drawing every single outline of every single building in a massive city, which is quite a lot of job. It's tiring. It destroys your eyes, and it's very prone to errors. So we need to then, the next step, we need to correct all of these errors. Then we need to enrich data, which means we need to add more to that data. After they get that footage of the building out of the satellite image, we need to add some more data to it. For example, we add pictures in it, we add the price in it, we add some information about the characteristics of every data, and that's data enrichment. We need to combine many different layers of data, many different data from different sources to make sense of it and to be able to make decisions based on that. For example, I give you again the surf map. You have to have data about the swell, about the wind, about the ground, about some other sources, and you put them on top of each other. So you combine them so that the combination of all of them, they will give you the result that you're looking for. Spatial analysis, that is what we do in the last step on the map. Like, for example, we measure the distances for planning. We want to say, again, consider like the restaurant example. We want to see how far are my customers or my suppliers from my business. So that is distance measurements analysis is a spatial analysis. Area, how big is something, the density of the population of something, for example, the density of the cars in one street. It suggests us data about traffic. This one is quite technical, so we can pass quickly through it. How we make data available, the next step is to make data available online, on the web, and how we do that is something called API. For those people who don't know what is an API, I think it's a very good example to define API you can see it as a restaurant. So if the back end of our data is the kitchen where they cook stuff and they prepare stuff, And you are here as a client, you're sitting on the table in the dining room waiting for your food to come. The API is actually the waiter that takes your food from the back room to your table. So all of this data that we prepared and we process, they are all in our database, and then we need to get them, who brings them to the customer, to the end user. That is the API. And the last step is actually creating the map. Creating map visualization is not always map. It can be a graph, it can be charts, it can be many different sorts of things. But in this case, like we generate maps. You know what map it is. It's the map of all the tourism stuff and safaris in South Africa, I guess. Yeah. So how do we use actually, or why do we need maps after we die? That was a joke I was trying to make in this presentation. If you have ever been to the pyramids in Egypt, you see all these things that are in the walls of the pyramids. It is actually a map. This is the map that shows you, that guides you in your journey from this world when you die to the afterworld. And all of these steps, these are maps showing you different steps, and at each step you arrive to a certain place, and there are certain people maybe waiting for you. For example, here they show you travel. First of all, where was the picture? Yeah, first of all you die, and that's how they mummy you. And then, for example, the first step, you get on the boat and you get to a certain place, and then you meet certain people, for example here, and they're asking you questions. All of this information is written, like where is that place, what questions they're asking you, is they're preparing you to answer those questions. And because one thing you don't want to do after you die is to get lost, or make the wrong turn there, or make the wrong exit there. It's going to cost you a lot for eternity. So it's better to have accurate maps about that. And then again, different stages, you come to the next stage, different questions, different tasks to do, and this is all of that stages as well. So all of the things you see. So this is how we need maps, even if we want to go to the sky or anything, we need that. We are over the time. Just last slide from me. I'm also curious to know, how do you use maps in your everyday life or in your business, or maybe you can use location intelligence? I would like to know about that. Anybody wants to say how you use maps in your life? Travel? Tracking. You track what?
Running.
Oh, running. Yeah, cycling and adventures. Sure. That's great. Yeah. And in the businesses? Anybody run a business that needs location analysis maybe? You do? Google reviews can be also, yeah. It's related to the maps and location. Yeah. Growing crops. Yes, exactly. Farmers use location intelligence to know where is the best place where the water gets in. For example, the topographical and hydrological maps we have, they use to find the best location of the maps and to build their crops and the farm. Yeah.
I've been experimenting with AI solutions with maps.
AI solutions with maps.
Yeah.
You've been doing that.
Yeah.
What were you doing exactly?
With Unity.
Unity?
And Lightship, yeah. The question I was going to ask is, have you had any experience with data gathering on maps in AR at all?
You mean acquiring data from the images and stuff on maps using machine learning and AI? Yeah. Yes, we do. We do work on that a lot of time, and it's very, very high-tech part of the industry. There is a lot of challenges because machine learning methods, they're not really doing well yet on extracting data from the map. The reason for that is that one of the challenges that the images and the raw data that we get, it has a lot of noise in it, and those machine learnings, they're not really good enough to get the noise out of it. So for example, imagine you normally want to, in those kind of cases, you normally want to have like different satellite images of a fixed point during the time, so every day, every week, so that you want to see, for example, the progress of something, how fast is the city growing, how fast are my crops growing in the farm or anything, how fast is this flood growing over the time. And then one of the noises, for example, is that one of the days, if it's cloudy, the satellite image looks completely different than the other day. So there is a lot of challenges. There is a lot of progress going on as well. There's good progress going on. I think the more we are getting into AI, the more easier and the better result, better data we can collect from the images and stuff. So, but we're not completely there yet. We can extract some stuff. Application programming interface. Yeah. It's quite a technical thing. That's why I skimmed it fast. I would say sheer luck, because I was actually not interested in maps. No, I was studying civil engineering, and one part of civil engineering is this survey and finding the locations and for construction sites and stuff. What happened to me is that back then I was in Iran, and then I won a scholarship that was in GIS, and it was in Netherlands. And I was like, okay, somebody wants to give me money to go somewhere to study, and I'm like, hell yeah, why not? So I got there, and then I worked a lot. In the beginning, maybe I also weren't feeling that it's really something for me. I weren't feeling it. But nowadays, as I become more expert and I have more control and freedom over my work, I start to enjoy it more. Yeah. Yeah, no, that is actually a good one, because they have this problem in Brazil as well and South Africa as well. There's some of many countries they have this, that some of these neighborhoods you cannot just pass with your car. It's very dangerous. I'm not working with Google guys and stuff, but it's definitely something useful to make. I don't know at this time if we have any application like that, but yeah, it would be a nice use case to do.
I don't think Waze does it either.
I'm sorry?
Waze, you know Waze?
Waze. Yeah, I know.
I think they do either.
I don't know. It is a very good case, and they should consider, especially in some countries, quite dangerous.
I heard that Google did switch around, I think, for 1 or 2 key spots.
Yeah.
Well, you can add it to your tourist map. Yeah.
You can add it to your tourist map. Thank you, Mimi.
Yeah.
To the danger zones in the tourist map. Yeah. Also, very, very important, because a lot of tourists, they don't know where they're going, and they open the map and say, oh, this is a nice neighborhood, maybe by the beach, let's go there, and then they get into the crime area. Yeah, sure, that is a good thing as well. Yeah.
Just to add on the crime thing, I know the city of Cape Town now started using their data from the ambulance services and police services
Yeah.
to basically pinpoint where crime hotspots
Exactly.
originate. So
Yeah.
I think that the data is there, but we don't necessarily utilize it.
That would be a good use case, and honestly, that would be a good idea to make something out of it. Even if you have some people in the municipality of Cape Town, you can just stay in touch, tell them about this. I can tell them, hey, I know a guy who can make maps and stuff. So yeah, it is. I actually got approached by someone who was working in the municipality of Cape Town. I started talking about this thing. Apparently, this thing is very important in Cape Town in South Africa, but it didn't go on. So yeah, it is. I see the need there for sure. No, it's all of the things that I made are quite private, so it's not open to public. You cannot see them, unfortunately. It's for organizational, and they protect the data very much.
You're a secret agent.
No, don't say that. But one really interesting project we were working last year. It was in collaboration with NASA. And they also use all this climate data and all the stuff they're using as well. Also, they are very much interested in extracting data from satellite images, because it's basically, if you can manage to build some algorithms that they can extract accurate data from images, you have a gold mine. It's like everybody is after that, it's very valuable resource. So we're working on that last year with also NASA. and it was about the building the API that I just told you, because that's very technical part, and there's a lot of challenges. The data is massive, is like the processing capacity of the data is quite a lot. Again, the noise is quite a lot. There's so many challenges to that, and we're partially working on that with some other teams. That was really interesting for me, to get more data to extract, to be able to extract more data.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Cool. How long are you around, Adrian?
I'm gonna be here until next Friday.
Okay.
1 week.
Thanks so much for
Yeah.
sharing with us today.
You're welcome. Thank you. It was a pleasure all to be in front of you.